but maybe I can ask it later. How do you come to a point of of understanding? How do we come to a point of understanding? How each generation point to understand that what happened with our parents. Even if it sort of damaged our mind, it hurt us. Some people are still trying to heal from it. I have people who say, I don't want to talk to my father again. I cannot even bear my mother.
Tommy, sorry to cut you short. Just like I said at the beginning, does it ever cross our mind that our parents too felt damaged and abused?
Yes, I agree with you, sir. And that's
exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what it took them to take care of us? The sacrifices they had to go through, are going through, that you're not even aware of. To pay that school fees, some of you abroad, and it's not every parent that is a thief for stealing government money, as it is. Do you know what sacrifices they also have to pay? And you see, what we call the abuse, the beating and all of that, a lot of it is, while there is the harmful part, but discipline is required. Certainly not flogging and the likes, right? But most of what you are going through that you call abuse, again, in their time, I'm speaking of my own parents now, that was what straightened them and got them to where they are, right? So that guidance, that discipline that had to be removed, because again, increasingly this thinking of talk of, oh, they are damaging me, I'm having mental health. So we begin to leave you on your own to say, no, we don't want to harass you. We don't want to. So that's why you're having a lot more in your generation, no ambition, no vision, fewer in your generation aspiring to anything. So while it's damaging to be on the extreme of the discipline, but what has happened in a lot of instances is my generation now didn't like what my parents did to my generation, and in an attempt to protect our children, we went the other extreme. And then who you hang out with matters a lot. So when you all congregate, if you notice the generation you are in, there's few interpersonal relationships. Everybody's on the phone. Everybody is online. So when you have an issue, the counsel you are getting is from social media of someone who may not be real, who may be having it worse, but giving you all kinds of wrong vibes that feeds you. So a good place to start for me, and I love the way Dare put it, is this is the job each person has to do for himself. Whether you're a parent or a child, you have to move beyond your comfort zone and take responsibility for your life. You have to, regardless of how many books you read or what it is, you have to take that decision. And a good place to start is be careful who you hang out with. Peer groups are a great part of that division, in my view. So it's not to go to the extreme, because you will find you are millennials. The generation before you, after you, they already think there's something wrong with you, not even your children. So it's a circle. It keeps going round. So rather than the blame game, and I love the way you put it, the young ones, you need the wisdom and the maturity and the experience of the old. You can't buy that, no matter how gifted you are. I'm an entrepreneur. A lot of young people raised capital in dollars. They start up businesses. In 2 years, the businesses are dead. Why? There's no experience. It's not just the capital, but the old will tell you how they have failed. They will tell you what not to do. Now, the old, they need the energy and the creativity of the young. So we need each other. So rather than the fight is to consistently look for how can we build a bridge to connect the generations rather than walls. Because what happens consistently, so the person who feels damaged, I won't forgive my parents. So who really is benefiting from that? So you remain damaged with all due respect. So we need to take responsibility, and that hard truth. I'm speaking as a parent. Increasingly, you are making it difficult for your parents to be honest with you. They can see the path you are following will not, they will soon go, they've lived their life. You'll be left on earth. But they can't correct you, or they are hesitant with how to do it. Yes, the caning is to the extreme, right? But I mean, it's scriptural. I'm a person of faith. You have to discipline, and you are disciplined because you can see the end results of where that individual is going. So the individual that says, leave me alone, I am me, I choose to do what I want. And my advice usually when I'm speaking to youth is, you know what? The day you're able to fend for yourself and you don't need us, please be who you choose to be. But you can't tell your parents to give you all those extreme freedoms. They're still paying your school fees, they're still paying your house rent, they're still feeding and clothing you. Come on. So if you think you are so matured and ready to take charge, go ahead, but go and do it on your own terms. These are my thoughts. And these are, like I said, even we parents, we feel abused, we feel injured. So it's not just the youth, all that mental. Some of your parents also are suicidal. Some of your parents also have mental issues. But the generation they were brought up, those mental issues, they find a way to deal with it. But for your generation, any small thing, you're in hospital.
And so, and that's also where there is the difference, and that's where I believe that there has to be a thing of understanding, because it is what it is. Now, I have somebody here who is, I think his name is Christian, and he asked a question. He said, so is it discipline to punish a boy who was waving his hand to his female classmate at GSS2 and flog? What version of this thing is that, please? So,
no, that is not discipline. Like I said, there are extremes, and there are, again, that person doing the flogging in school is damaged. So if you're a damaged teacher, a damaged parent, you can't, but only also damage your children. You understand? So you can't pick and choose some of these extremes that we see all over the place. You can't give what you don't have. So a lot of men particularly are brought up in my generation to be strong. Don't cry. Don't show fear. Don't show that you are confused. So that person obviously is a damaged adult who can't take care of a child who also has weaknesses, because he was brought up never to exercise a weakness. But they are parents, and they are big men in society, but inside that big man is a damaged adult who never grew up. But there's no one to talk to.